Okay, before we learn the new topic, is there any question for the Monday class? For this worksheet, do you both have any questions?
Can you please go to the second page?
This one?
Oh yeah. For
This
number sorry. For number 13, could you just leave it as secant x and plus cosecant
Sure.
x? Oh, you really could?
Let's do this, okay. This is cosine square x. We have already learned that sine square plus cosine square equals to 1 as long as the angle are the same. So this guy you convert to cosine square x. This guy you convert to sine square x. 1 over cosine square x is secant square x. 1 over sine square x is cosecant square x, okay? That's the three important. Sine square x plus cosine square x equals to 1. We already know this from the right triangle, okay? We already do this proof. When you divided each term by cosine square x, sine over cosine is tangent. So this becomes to tangent square x. Cosine divided by cosine is 1. 1 divided by cosine is secant. So tangent square x plus 1 is also equals to secant square x. This formula, if you divided each one by cosine square, okay? You already know this is true. Each term divide times this guy, go to here, here, here. Same thing, everybody divided by sine square x. This term becomes to 1. Cosine over sine is cotangent, so this is cotangent square. 1 divided by cosine, 1 divided by sine is cosecant. This divided by sine is 1. This divided by sine is cotangent. This divided by cosine, this divided by sine is cosecant. So this becomes to 1 over sine square x. These are the three important trigonometry identities. Okay. We need to use this to do a lot of proofs. So secant is same as tangent square plus 1. Cosecant is same as cotangent square plus 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. That's why you have here. That's for question 13. For question 14, there are two different ways to do this. You can use this formula. A squared minus B squared equals to A plus B times A minus B. A plus B, this is A, this is B. So A plus B, cosine x got canceled. So that is left with a 2 times sine x. A minus B, sine x canceled. Cosine x times 2 was left. This becomes to 2 times 2, which is 4, times sine x times cosine x. There is additional, you don't know this formula yet. We are going to learn this formula for this class and the next class, okay? I will show you why this is true. There is another way to get this. You can make this guy square. 2 numbers plus together square is going to equal the first term square plus the last term square plus double minus first term square, next term square, and then double. If you want to do this in additional step, you can do this. You can minus sine square x plus cosine square x minus 2 times sine x times cosine x. Sine square x cancel. Cosine square x cancel. This guy minus negative 2 times sine x cosine x. That equals to 4 times sine x cosine x. Okay? Yeah. After we learn the double angle formula, this you make the result as 2 times sine 2x. Is there any other questions? This one, 1 plus cotangent square equals to cosecant square. 1 plus tangent square equals secant square. You want to flip them. This go to bottom, sine square. This go to top, cosine square. And that is cotangent square x, okay? For those questions, we need to manipulate by these 3 identities, plus all those old formulas we have that we have learned in algebra 1 or algebra 2. Julia, did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. And for this kind of proof, look, for those kind of simplifications, you want to be able to tell this is sine square plus cosine square times sine square minus cosine square. And this bottom and the top one will cancel. So this is sine square x plus cosine square x times sine square x minus cos. Is good enough. We are going to learn this today, okay? We will learn the double angle formula today. Yeah, this proof saying you want to make this as secant square x plus tangent square x times secant square x minus tangent square x. For the identity we know just now, this is 1, so this is 1. You change to secant square x plus tangent square x times 1. Secant square x is tangent square x plus 1, so you got that answer, okay? Cindy, do you have any question for this worksheet?
Wait, why was it times 1 again?
Say one more time.
Why was it times 1, like number 20?
But this is
Didn't
1.
really pick it up.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Let it go, okay? Yeah, I just write down this equals to 1. You can let it go.
I think I'm mostly okay on this one.
Okay, I'm going to call you to do this with me together, okay? Julia, let's see how you do 22. Go ahead. Let's prove this.
Well,
How do we prove this equals this?
I mean, well, to get, so
Yeah.
to, sorry. Okay, so to get secant theta plus tan theta,
Yes.
technically you could do secant squared theta minus tan squared theta over secant theta minus tan theta.
Very good. Very good. I like it. You want to use the formula in the other direction. This is same as this. Okay, this is same as this. A squared minus B squared divided by A minus B equals to A plus B, right? And then this guy equals
1.
Very good. That's it. In this way, we prove it. Okay, yeah, very good. This is about the trigonometry identity. Nice. Cindy, let's try proof 23.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, when we need to prove the equation, we can do from left equals to something, something equal to the right. You can also prove from the right. You can from the right and you see this equals something, and this guy is exactly this, okay? Depends on which way make you do it faster or you can understand better, okay? Go ahead.
So I start on the right, I think. So
Yes.
cosine squared x times sine x times 1 minus cosine squared x.
You take this factor. This is 1 minus cosine square x. Very good. Next step.
So that would just be cosine squared x times sine squared x. Right.
Next.
And that simplifies to cosine squared x times sine cubed x.
Yes. That's perfect. That's the answer. Very good. You two do so well. That's good. This is about the trigonometry identity. Okay. Yeah. I think all of you master the skills. For this worksheet, it's not hard, right? I think you both can handle it. The only thing you want to pay attention is sometimes if they put the restriction like this, you give the specific solution. But sometimes they ask you general solution and you just plus a 2k pi, correct? Now we need to move on to harder questions. Okay. This part might be hard, okay? But I think you both can handle it. We want to prove this formula. Previously, we just learned about sine alpha, cosine alpha, tangent alpha, cotangent alpha, secant alpha, cosecant alpha, the graphing part, okay? And those 30 important formulas with the trig identity. It's not too hard yet. This is the first time we see the two angles plus together and you want to get the sine value. The formula is this. It is sine alpha times cosine beta plus cosine alpha times sine beta. Okay. Now, we want to prove this, okay? I'm going to draw, I drawed a triangle. In this triangle, I let my altitude, or you can call the height, equals to 1. And then you have this side. You call this angle alpha. You call this angle beta. You might wonder why you always call alpha, beta, gamma, theta. Because Greek people created the trigonometry. They use their Greek letters, okay? So we have to use alpha, beta, gamma, theta, pi, whatever. If this is 1, I'm going to get rid of this and I ask you to fill the blanks. If this is 1, how much is tangent alpha? Julia. If this is alpha, this is 1. Tangent alpha is who? Opposite over adjacent, right? Correct?
Yes.
Okay, so tangent alpha equals to BC divided by 1, right?
Yes.
How about tangent beta?
CD over 1.
Tangent beta is CD over 1. Correct?
Yes.
Then BC equals to how much? BC is same as tangent alpha, right?
Yes.
CD is same as tangent beta, correct? CD is same as tangent beta, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so based on this, we can do next. Now, Cindy, let's go ahead. Look at this. In this triangle, cosine alpha equals to who?
1 over AB.
Cosine alpha equals to 1 divided by AB. Cosine beta,
1 over AD.
1 divided by AD. So AB will equals to
Secant alpha?
yeah, you can just write down 1 over cosine alpha, okay?
Oh, okay.
AD equals,
1 over cosine beta.
okay. Next. We are going to use the triangle area formula. For triangle ABC. Triangle ABC area is the base times the height, right? So triangle ABC is going to be equals to 1/2 times BC times 1, okay? Triangle ABC area is 1/2 times BC times height. Height is 1. And the BC is who? BC is tangent alpha. So I'm going to put tangent alpha over here. So the area of triangle ABC is 1/2 times tangent alpha. On the other side, triangle ACD. Triangle ACD is 1/2 times CD times 1. So CD is tangent beta. So the triangle ACD is 1/2 times tangent beta. So far, so good. Up to here, do you have any questions? No question. Well, we represent the triangle ABC and triangle ADC using alpha and beta, okay? Now we want to get triangle ABC, triangle, this guy here. Sorry, I should put triangle ABD, okay? For this triangle, the area can be represented by 1/2 times BD times AC, okay? But there is another formula. We can use AB times AD divided by 2 times sine of this angle. Why was that? Let's take a look at this, okay? Yeah, the thing here is a little bit complicated. I'm going to draw a triangle. Okay, let's see this triangle. The H is here. This is a H. Look at this. I use the lowercase to represent the opposite side. Okay, So here, this area is 1/2 times A times H. Julia, look at this. For the H, for this altitude, does H equals to C times sine B? In this right triangle, does H equals to C times sine B? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, because sine B equals to H over C. So H equals to C times sine B, correct? So H equals to C times sine B. H also equals to B times sine C. Cindy, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so H can be replaced by B times sine C. H can be represented by B times sine C. H can also be represented by C times sine B. So the formula used to be 1/2 times A times H. Now it converted to 1/2 times A times B times sine C. 1/2 times A times C times sine B. We get these two new formula. This two new formula is very interesting. We used to be able to only calculate the triangle area by the base and the height divided by 2. Now we can do this side. Look, if you do AC and then times this angle sine value divided by 2. You can also do this guy times this guy times this angle sine divided by 2. So this is a new triangle formula area. For triangle area calculation, there are several formulas. First formula is the base times the height divided by 2. Second formula is you can choose any two sides and then times their angle between them, that angle sine value divided by 2. A times C times sine B divided by 2. A times B times sine C divided by 2. You can also do B times C times sine A divided by 2. All these formula will give you the area of the triangle, okay? And there is another formula. If you attend those EMC 10, you might know that there's another formula called a Harris formula. You make the S equals to 1/2 times A plus B plus C, and your area is going to equals to square root A, you can do this. You can do S times S minus A times S minus B times S minus C, okay? There are 3 types of area formula. Base times height times 1/2. All use all those two sides and times their angle between the sine value divided by 2. Or you can use the Harris formula. That's a 3 type of formula. Now we come back to this original question. This area is going to equals to AB times AD divided by 2. So, and then times this angle between. This is alpha, this is beta. This total is alpha plus beta. So the area will be 1/2 times AB times AD times sine alpha plus beta, okay? So far, so good. Now, we also know the AB value. AB is 1 over cosine alpha. AD is 1 over cosine beta. Since you gave me this result, right? So AB will be replaced by this. AD will be replaced by this, okay? 1 over cosine alpha times 1 over cosine beta times this. Now look at this. This two triangle plus together equals this whole triangle. This two triangle is 1/2 tangent alpha plus tangent beta. So in this way, we prove that these two are the same. The triangle, two triangle area plus together equals to this total triangle. In this way, we prove that this equal. Now we write down that whole thing on the left. We write down that whole thing on the right. Now let's try. We can times cosine alpha, cosine beta for both sides. This side times cosine alpha, cosine beta is canceled. So the left is say this. Times cosine alpha, cosine beta, this term got canceled. Times cosine alpha, cosine beta on the right. This guy is always true. We can further writing down this tangent alpha equals to sine over cosine. Tangent beta equals to sine over cosine, okay? Now, Julia, look at this with me together. Cosine alpha times this canceled, right?
Yeah.
So this becomes to cosine beta times sine alpha, right?
Yes.
And this guy also get canceled. So this becomes cosine alpha times sine beta, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did we prove this? At the beginning, we say we want to prove this. Now, this shows that sine alpha times cosine beta plus cosine alpha times sine beta equals to this. We finish the proof. Does this make sense? Does this make sense?
Oh, yes.
Okay. You say, will pre-cal, pre-p ask me to prove this? Don't worry, okay? If you take those AMC 12 or Amy, you need to know, you need to be able to prove this kind of question by yourself. If you are just doing the pre-cal, pre-p, you don't worry about to prove this. As long as you know this is true, but I would like to teach this to make you truly understand this is true, okay? In your school, they won't teach you this part. I would like to know, to show you this is really true. Now, starting with this formula, we are able to get the formula for tangent alpha plus beta, okay? Now, Cindy, let's do this together. Hold on, I'm going to get the formula for cosine alpha plus beta, okay? Before we do this, we have to get the cosine alpha plus beta. Let's go ahead. Let me squish this a little bit. Okay, now we know the first formula is true. So based on this, we need to get the cosine alpha plus beta. Cindy, this is true. I want to use this formula to find out the formula for cosine alpha plus beta. What I do is I make this. . Does this make sense to you?
Mm,
This is the cofunction, right?
Yeah.
This guy, yeah, this is the same formula as cosine alpha equals sine pi over 2 minus alpha, okay?
mhm.
This time the guy here is alpha plus beta. Now, next one, we can change this. This becomes to, hold on. If sine alpha plus beta equals this, let's see, sine alpha minus beta equals how much? This is sine alpha times cosine negative beta, right?
Mhm.
This can be rewrite as alpha plus negative beta, right?
Mhm.
So use this formula. That gives me a cosine negative beta plus cosine alpha times sine negative beta. Yes,
Mhm.
cosine negative beta is how much?
Mm,
How much? Cosine negative beta is how much?
um,
Remember, all students take class. Cosine in quadrant 4 is positive, yes?
Yeah.
This is beta, this is negative beta. Cosine negative beta is same as cosine beta, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Each class is important, okay? Let's remember the thing we learned before. How much is this one?
All students take class. So
In quadrant 4, sine is,
negative.
yes, negative,
Okay.
correct?
Mhm.
Now we come to here. This becomes to sine pi over 2 minus alpha minus beta, correct?
Mhm.
Now we do this as our alpha, okay? We want to manipulate it with this formula. So let's write down this in the, okay. Please go ahead, use this formula. Tell me what this should equal.
Sine. You said that pi over 2 minus alpha is equal to alpha in this thing, or?
Hold on, yeah, we make this guy as a one angle. So we want to use this as a package and use this formula. So you copy down sine pi over 2 minus alpha
times sine
cosine,
beta.
cosine,
Yeah, cosine beta, sorry.
minus
Cosine pi over 2 minus alpha times sine beta.
yes. Okay. How much is this? Cofunction.
Cosine alpha?
Cosine alpha. How much is this?
Sine alpha?
Okay. So here is a formula for cosine alpha plus beta, okay? When you have sine in front, you will switch you do sine times cosine plus cosine times sine. If this is plus, this is plus. If this is minus, this is minus. But if you do cosine alpha plus beta, you do cosine times cosine, sine times sine. If here is plus, here is minus. Okay? So far, so good?
Mhm.
Now, Julia, let's find out the cosine alpha minus beta, okay? We will use this formula to find out this. Go ahead, please. Julia, go ahead.
So when
You change this to alpha plus negative beta, okay?
okay.
Mhm. So this equals to go ahead. Cosine alpha times cosine beta, right? Minus. So you can do this. You can choose negative beta here. So that equals to cosine alpha times cosine negative beta. And then minus sine alpha times sine negative beta. Julia, does this equation make sense to you? I cannot hear you.
Sorry, I'm still processing it.
Okay. Look, alpha plus negative beta. So this is cosine alpha. This is negative beta replace beta, so negative beta. You treat this as another angle, right? Does this make
Yeah.
sense to you? Okay. Cosine negative beta is cosine beta, right? And then sine negative beta is negative cosine beta, minus negative is plus. So this becomes to plus. Okay? Makes sense now? Now we continue, okay? We want to do tangent alpha plus beta. Cindy, let's see here. Tangent alpha plus beta equals to sine alpha plus beta divided by cosine alpha plus beta, right?
Mhm.
We already have the sine alpha plus beta formula, which is this guy. So we copy down over here, yes?
Mhm.
For the cosine alpha plus beta, we have the formula over here. So we copy down that guy over here, yes?
Mhm.
And then we can divide it. We can times 1 over cosine alpha cosine beta on the numerator. We can times 1 over cosine alpha cosine beta on the denominator. Sine alpha cosine beta divided by cosine alpha cosine beta equals how much?
Tangent alpha plus tangent beta.
Very good. This get canceled, so tangent alpha left. This guy get canceled. Tangent beta is left. For the denominator, this and this canceled. That and that canceled. So 1 was left. Sine alpha divided by cosine alpha is tangent. Sine beta divided by cosine beta is tangent. So the answer becomes this. Tangent alpha plus tangent beta divided by this. Does this make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. If we want to get tangent alpha minus beta, we will do tangent alpha plus tangent negative beta times divided by 1 minus tangent alpha tangent negative beta. This tangent beta is negative, so you put negative here. Minus negative is plus, so you have here, okay? So we go through all the formulas. The important formula here we want to highlight, okay? This is the formula you have to remember. In the test or quiz, they won't give you the formula. You need to know the formula by yourself. This is the first one. This is the second one. This guy is the third one. This guy is the fourth one. And this is the fifth one. And this is the sixth, okay? Oh, this is too much, right? This is really too much. Now, what's the reason we want to learn this formula? Look, sine 75 degree, you don't know how much it is. But we know the 30 degree and 45 degree. This equals this 2 plus. Julia, let's try this. Sine 75 equals this. Do you remember that formula? This should equals to how much?
So would that be sine 30 degrees times cosine 45 degrees?
Very good.
Plus cosine 30 degrees times sine 45 degrees.
Very good. Okay. This equals
1/2
times
square root 2 over 2.
plus
Square root 3 over 2. That's square root 2 over 2.
equals
Square root 2 plus square root 6 over 4.
yes, very good. Okay, that's the purpose we learn the formula. We want to solve angles like this. And Cindy, let's try 15. Let's see how much is sine 15. Go ahead, please.
That would be, that could be sine 45 degrees minus 30 degrees.
Okay.
I kind of forgot the formula, but
The only difference is this.
it's just a minus, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So sine 30 degrees
Eh,
minus,
you want to use this front.
sine 45 degrees times cosine 30 degrees minus cosine 45 degrees times sine 30 degrees. So that would be square root 2 over 2 times square root 3 over 2 minus square root 2 over 2 times 1/2.
Okay, equals
Square root 6 over, oh wait, no, never mind. Minus square root 2 over 4.
okay. Let's do one more. Julia, do you remember the tangent formula? How do we do this?
So that would be tangent 45 degrees minus tangent 30 degrees.
Okay, very good. Divided by
1 plus tangent 45 degrees times tangent 30 degrees.
very good, very good.
After this problem, can you scroll up to the formulas? I didn't copy down. So,
Sure.
thank you.
Yeah, let's go. Go ahead. Finished. Yeah, I will upload all those notes, okay, to the Google Doc. Okay. Continue, please. Julia, you can continue, please.
So that would be 1 minus square root 3 over 3. Over 1 plus 1, 1 plus square root 3 over 3.
Okay. We don't want the denominator has radicals, so we need to times the conjugate. But this has a fraction, so I would like to times 3 for top and bottom first, okay?
Okay.
So that becomes 2
3 minus square root 3 over 3 plus square root 3.
So we times 3. So this is 3, this is square root 3. And then this is 3 plus square root 3, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then we want to times the conjugate, okay? This guy conjugate is who?
3 minus square root 3.
Very good. We can just do that guy square, right?
Yes.
Next. How much is the denominator?
It's 9 minus 3, so 6.
Yes, very good. How about the top?
9 minus 6 square root 3 plus 3.
So this is 9, this is minus 6 times square root 3 plus 3. This gives me 12 minus this divided by 6 equals how much?
2 minus square root 3.
That's it. That's the final answer. Okay. Now let's try tangent 105. Yeah, Cindy, it's your turn. Go ahead.
Okay. So tangent 60 minus plus tangent beta. Wait, no. So that's 45, right? Okay. And denominator. Okay. It's 1 plus.
Mm.
Oh, am I looking at the
If
wrong
this
one?
is minus, this is plus.
Oh,
If
okay.
this is plus, this is minus. Okay.
So 1 minus tangent 60 times tangent 45.
Okay. How much
Okay,
is
so square root 3 plus 1 over 1 minus square root 3 times 1.
Okay.
So it's, yeah.
Okay. So we want to times the conjugate. Who is a conjugate?
1 plus square root 3.
Okay. Equals.
The bottom is 1 minus 3, so -2.
Okay.
And the top is 3 plus 2 times square root 3 plus 1. So 4 plus 2 square root 3 over -2.
Okay.
So that's -2 plus square root 3.
Minus.
Oh, yeah.
Minus. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason we learn all those formulas is because we want to get those sine and cosine tangent values of like 15 and 75 and 105. Okay, that's the purpose for learning those formulas. Next, we want to if the question gives by degree, you can handle it. If the question given by reading, like this, for example, 7 pi over 12, you should also be able to get it. 7 pi over 12 is who? Is 3 pi over 12 plus 4 pi over 12. 3 pi over 12 is pi over 4. 4 pi over 12 is pi over 3. Okay, doesn't matter if they give you the angles in degree or in radian. When you see the pi over 12, you immediately relate this guy pi over 4 minus pi over 6, okay? Because pi over 12 is corresponding to 15, and 15 is equals to 45 degree minus 30 degree. This one, you need to relate to that two angles. You need to be sensitive to those, okay? To see which formula you need to use. As I mentioned earlier, the other reason we learn so many formulas is to get those double angle formula, okay? Double angle formula. Double angle formula is saying you just make your alpha and beta equal. Look at here. If alpha equals to beta, which is the same angle, so you say sine, let me change your pen color. The double angle formula, if alpha is beta, then sine 2 alpha is going to equals to sine alpha times cosine alpha plus cosine alpha times sine alpha, because beta alpha equal. This is 2 times sine alpha cosine alpha. Just like what we did earlier. As I mentioned here, sine 2x equals to 2 times sine x cosine x, okay? Does this formula make sense now? Now we come back to here. Sine 2 alpha equals this. Now we want to get the cosine 2 alpha. Cosine 2 alpha. Look at here. Cosine alpha plus beta equals to cosine alpha cosine beta minus sine alpha sine beta. If alpha beta equal, cosine 2 alpha equals to cosine alpha times cosine alpha. Cosine alpha times cosine alpha minus sine alpha times sine alpha. Okay. This is equals to cosine square alpha minus sine square alpha. Cosine square alpha equals to 1 minus sine square alpha. So the formula can be rewrite as 1 minus 2 times sine square alpha. Sine square alpha is 1 minus cosine square alpha. This can be rewrite as cosine square alpha minus parentheses 1 minus cosine square alpha. This equals to 2 times cosine square alpha minus 1. Okay, so sine 2 alpha equals this. Cosine 2 alpha equals to this and this and this. Oh, the last formula. Sorry, too many. Okay. Alpha beta equal tangent alpha equals tangent beta. Plus them together is 2 times tangent alpha. Okay. And then divide by 1 minus tangent square alpha. Okay. Does this make sense? That's all the formula. Okay. Yeah. Give you a few 2 minutes. You can write down the formula, copy down the formula. So far, any question? Too many formula, right? So you need to finish the homework to practice, to master all the formulas, okay? How many we have today? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10 formulas. And we haven't counted the triangle area formula yet. For any triangle, you can do the base times the height divided by 2. You can do this, any two sides product times the angle sine between them, okay? So BC times sine A divided by 2. AB times sine C divided by 2. AC times sine B divided by 2. Well, let me see one more thing, okay? After we learned this, in the next several class, I need to teach you the law of sine. Law of sine is saying because AB times sine C. Now this triangle area can be represented by this, this, and this, okay? Any two sides divide by 2 times angle between them, that's sine value. You times 2 for each term, all get canceled. So you have this, you have this. You divided by ABC product, sine C over C equals sine B over B equals sine A over A. This is called a beautiful formula, law of sine. Okay, law of sine. If you flip them upside down, lowercase c over sine C, lowercase b over sine B, lowercase a over sine A. That is the circle's diameter. You might learn this in geometry before. You do the angle, you do this line bisector, perpendicular bisector, perpendicular bisector, perpendicular bisector. It's going to meet at the same center. You can use this as a radius. You will be able to draw a circle which touch ABC. Okay, touch the point ABC. And this equals your 2r. This really ratio is your diameter. Don't worry this too much, okay? This is too much for the class. As long as you can remember all the formulas we listed on this page and being able to calculate all those values without looking at any formula, you achieve the goal, okay? That's for the notes. I will upload the notes and I will upload all the homework. Make sure practice your homework because next class is going to do the double half angle formula identities. Everything next class will depend on everything we have learned this class, okay? Now I will upload the video. You can look at the video to go through if there's any part you feel confused, okay? That's for today's class. I see you next week, okay?
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.